Alright guys, let me make sure my light turned off. Looks good to me. Alright. I hope that everybody's having a good week so far. I'm starting a little bit early. So because I know that 8 o'clock is a weird time to start. But I'm trying to time it where people, because you really want to do it at 7 o'clock. But that's too early for some people and too late for some people, so I can't really win here. But so long as I do it in this time frame, everything will be fine. So, hi, my name's Daryl Phillips, owner of No Apology Gaming, and what we do here is listening to talk. So I hope everybody's having a good week. Everybody's starting their week good. Remember, it's called Motivation Monday because that's what you're supposed to be getting. Trust me, today was not a good day. My stomach pains were beyond the pale. But sometimes those things happen, which is kind of leads into what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to start transitioning into the next video. Remember, a week from now is the next video, taking advice. And venting and taking advice are married, just like the first and second ingredients, the first and second steps are married with to clean your house and fill your house, right? The thought process behind venting. Well, before I get into this, I hope that if you're new to this channel, if you come across this, I hope you subscribe. I have a lot to say. It's good stuff. If you don't know me and my background, me and my friend, who unfortunately my friend passed away in September, and my business partner, we met in the year 2000, and we always wanted to help people back then, but we were homeless. We met in a homeless shelter, me and my friend Dwan, and he guides me to this day with his spirit. And I don't mean some ghost kind of thing. I mean that his very presence and the way he was cannot be reproduced. And so I try to do him honor by making sure that I honor what me and him would do, like what we would talk about and we would do. This is my baby. I came up with the idea. Dwan always followed me, but this is one that counts because we try to think about people that are basically forgotten. People like my friend Dwan, who died going to work, having a heart attack, and if it wasn't for this stuff that I'm doing, he would have been forgotten. And there's so many people like him out there that nobody even tried to help while they were alive. And nobody tried to help Dwan except for me. And then, of course, Sophia, I call Dwan 1A, 1B, But Sophia is the main person that I vent to. All right? And I said this in a live video, I think on Friday or Saturday. what we do is to keep animosity out of this place. I don't want animosity in my life anymore. And so what I try to do is we try to get it out of the house. Okay? And so she'll vent about her work, I'll vent about what goes on in my daytime, so that we can give each other advice. Now that's a simplistic thing, and not everybody has that system. But let me try to show you the connection and kind of give you a little bit of insight into how I got here, and show you how venting leads into taking advice, and eventually you're able to help yourself. See, when I first started this journey, when I met Sophia 18 years ago, think about that. When I first started this journey, I was lost, scattered to the winds. I'd messed up my life. I wasn't on a path to anything but death. And when I first started venting, a couple years into my friendship with Sophia, it was one of the most painful things that I ever had to do, because I have so much stuff in my past. And I only could see pain. Okay? Sorry, I keep looking over. Like I said, I don't have my chat in front of me anymore, so I got to look over here. All I could see was pain. I couldn't even see my good times with my family. But for those who may come across this video, and those who don't know, those who do know, it's just gonna be something I'm repeating. This is the part where you go get something to drink and come back. I was born addicted I was born addicted to drugs, along with my sister Jacqueline. And so really, you could say I was born with PTSD. All right? Really. So much of my future would be because of my past. And that's unfortunate. There's a lot of people like that have terrible childhoods like that, or that are born into situations like that, where it really does start from birth. But besides that, I also have bipolar disorder, so I was born with that. Now, I would not be diagnosed for another 17 years, so I was age 17. And so I went through that time, and there's so many things I'm not going to get into because this isn't about my life. But the point is, I had a past, and then I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and then I became homeless. And I had all that baggage, and all of the stuff, and just smack after smack after smack after smack. Okay? Hey, what's up, Lori? But I was always good inside. My father's a preacher. That's the other part. Something I don't really want to skip over. I was adopted. My biological parents were psychos, honestly. I hate using that word, but in this case, my biological mother was messed up, and she also had bipolar, most likely. She was in a mental institution. I know that for a fact. So, and I know my biological father committed murder, but he also burnt cigarettes on me and Jacqueline's body. Babies. I'm going to stop for dramatic purposes. I'll need you guys to just put that in your heart right now. The people that loved me the most, that should have loved me the most, not just rejected me, but hurt me, hurt my sister. Okay. Now let's skip over to Dwan's life for a second, because Dwan was 6 months older than me. He was 6 months older than me. Unfortunately, he died 1 month after his 46th birthday. I just turned 46. Dwan was rejected. He died. And one of the reasons why he has cerebral palsy is because he had a seizure when he was a baby. So he has cerebral palsy. And he had awful things happen to him. And just being ignored. Now his was different. His wasn't straight abuse necessarily like mine. His was just people treating him like he was retarded all of his life. Dwan was a poet. I'm sure he was not retarded. And he ran the KFE. He had a voice from God. But we met in that homeless shelter and we connected instantly. Because even though we didn't know each other, he was amazed by my ability to talk about the Bible. Because I am very good at that. That's one thing that y'all still don't know that yet. Y'all don't know how much I really know. And y'all aren't going to know yet because my other channel is going to be changed and I'm going to try to turn it into a Christian version of this so I can try to show you the ingredients and the steps to Christianity through the Bible. Okay, that God actually teaches the ingredients and the steps. That this is not some idea from me. I just came up with this version of it so that I could teach the truth without people going, well, you're just a Christian. Truth is truth, no matter where you get it from. This is my idea. I'm kind of proud of it, to be honest with you. But people still don't quite understand it yet. So that's what made me think that maybe I should switch that other channel to like a Christian version of this. All right. But we met, we hit it off. And I brought him closer to God. And we've been brothers ever since. Okay? To the day he died. He was so vital to everything I do here. Even though I was the one who did everything from what y'all's perspective, no. He did so much. He lifted my spirit up all the time. He never said anything bad against me. And he's the only one that can say that. I mean, even including Sophia. He's the only one of my friends that never said anything bad against me. And it's just, I mean, he was a different person. But I had all this baggage when I met Sophia. I was to the end of my life, to be frank with you. And so I had to start venting. I had to start unpackaging the baggage. So I began my journey to changing. And it was awful. Let me tell you something, that first step, as you guys are going to see when I release the video a couple months from now, that clean your house, it's the hardest step. And you're going to need to vent. And you're going to need to take advice. You're going to need these two ingredients the most. And well, you're not going to need all your ingredients the most in those. Because you're going to need to know that you're not alone. You're going to need the want to, my God. Because you're going to do a lot of crying, a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming. Hopefully not breaking a lot of stuff in the meantime. I can't tell you how many video game controllers I've broken. But the idea is, I started venting, and by the way, and I'm going to say this, and I hope if you're a Christian and you come across this, I don't want you to think I'm encouraging drinking. In fact, that's one thing I try not to do. I used to be, I was drinking quite a bit, a lot. I was drinking every single day when I met Sophia. I couldn't deal with my life anymore. I had to go into my own world. I had no one. Everyone had given up on me, and rightfully so. I don't even blame them. But to begin this journey, I knew I needed to change. See, here's the thing. The best motivation is need. Right? We discussed want to, right? And I forgot, I kind of glossed over this, forgetting about this one fundamental thing is survival. Survival is the greatest motivation you'll ever have. All right? Why? Because while it's true that suicide crossed my mind many times, my mom and dad put a seed inside my head to make sure it was very clear where, as a Christian, I know where I was going to go. That me killing myself was not going to relieve my pain. It was actually going to make it worse. So I had no way out. So I had to go through this misery. So if I'm going to have to go through this misery, I might as well go into a fantasy world of being drunk. That was my thing. All right. But I knew I needed change. I was killing myself, really, slowly. But I didn't know where to start. You know how I say at the end of my videos or at the end of my lives, not everybody necessarily can even get up. I couldn't get up. I wasn't up. I needed a hand up or I was going to lay down. I had no way to stand. I was spiritually and mentally a paraplegic. So how do you do that? Well, one painful memory at a time. Deal with the mistakes. Figure out why you made them. And figure out how you can go different. It's not just a thing of reflection. Reflection is for people who are just reflecting about things. No, this is a little bit deeper than a bit of reflection. This is digging. In fact, one of the sections of my video for Clean Your House is called Digging Into Your Past. That's what it is. You are digging for bones. You're digging for things that you didn't want to talk about, that you have avoided for whatever reason, pain, just you don't want to think about it. You know you were wrong and you don't want to admit it. I mean, there's all sorts of reasons. But I had to start from scratch. I had to go, because I knew some things. I knew some mistakes I made. But as I began to dig deeper into my past, and I began to vent these things out, I began to get angrier and sadder, and oh my God, the suicidal thoughts, the wanting to die, and I knew I couldn't kill myself. And although I will say, one time I tried to drive Sophia's car into a bridge embankment a long time ago when I first met her. It was awful. But as I'm venting these things out, and Sophia's listening, and I'm screaming at her sometimes I am, the person that is actually listening to the person venting is going to take a lot of abuse sometimes. When a person has mental illness, sometimes it comes out in the most violent manner out of our mouth. Because we're not dealing with it. We're learning how to deal with it. And it's like honestly, it's like, I'm not a woman. I know I look like a woman with my hairy face, No, just playing. It's like having a baby. It's like getting a tooth pulled. You say all sorts of awful things when that happens. Well, at first it was just emptying out my guts, and if you have as much baggage as I did, that's what it is. You're unburdening yourself, okay, of all the pain. And then for that briefest moment, so I didn't have anybody in my life. So Sophia would give me advice, and even sometimes I would reject advice, but I would think about it later. See whether no distractions comes in. That's the one after taking advice. See, I was discovering how to change here. Got it? So even though I was rejecting it out of hand sometimes, it was always in the back of my mind something Sophia would say. I mean, heck, my parents taught me the Bible, and it's what kept me safe. I didn't realize it until years later that the couple seeds I really latched onto kept me from, one, killing myself, but two, kept me at least anchored, tethered, even if the tether was long and far, to the Bible. And I'm sorry if you're an atheist, you come across this. This isn't about me converting you to Christianity. I'm just trying to explain to you how I did this. Okay? So y'all got that so far? So it was violent sometimes. And of course, Sophia is the meanest person on earth. Oh, you don't understand. Nobody understands me. Oh God, what do you know about being homeless? Oh, it all came out of my mouth. Well, it's not false. She doesn't know anything about being homeless. But let me give you a clue. Why should Sophia have to go be homeless for her to get have empathy? She'll never have sympathy. She can't have sympathy because she wasn't homeless. That has nothing to do with help. You don't have to have gone through homelessness. I don't have to have had a baby to understand how painful it would be to have a baby. That's sometimes what you ladies don't understand about us guys, especially the guys that make you pregnant, that we do understand. That's why the closer you are to the woman, the guy gets sympathy, pains. But I can't imagine Sophia seeing this, and I have thanked her every single day. I've been around her for what she accomplished with me because I didn't listen to people. I didn't take advice because I couldn't hear them. My ears were closed. La, 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 la. I couldn't hear anyone because the pain was louder than the voices talking to me, trying to help me. And so people just stopped talking to me. Well, Sophia saw something in me, something I did not see anymore. Sophia didn't know my past. Sophia wasn't around me. Sophia hadn't experienced my past. So she was outside of the situation. She was seeing me way different than I was seeing me. So I began to trust her. Trust is so important to this stuff. You are not going to get all of your stuff off your chest if you don't trust that person. And I'm not being disrespectful right now to counselors. If you don't have anybody, yes, go to a counselor. But I'm telling you now, if you don't trust someone, you're not going to talk to them freely. And I don't mean trust their degree. There's a difference. You do not impress me with your degree. Just so you know. You don't impress me with your degree. You can talk to me about your... Sophia's father is a neurosurgeon. Or was. He's retired now. Sophia's a nurse. It wasn't because Sophia was a nurse I was listening to her. My God. It was because she was listening. She was willing to try to understand even if I didn't think she could. And so it began to hammer into my giant wall that I had built up. And so it started to penetrate these ears. And so when I would be alone, at first being alone was sucked. I had to have something on my ears at all times. I didn't want to think about the things in my head. But she would come home and I would vent to her about something I was thinking about all day. But I had to hold it in my head all day. So I had no way to do it any time before she got home. And by that time, I usually wanted to have a drink because I had been holding all this stuff all. I had no way. You get what I'm saying? Like it's a bad cycle I was dealing with. So that was at first. And over time, what I noticed, the greatest part about these two ingredients being connected is I started giving myself advice just to tide myself over. And then I would run my thought by Sophia. So when I would be by myself, even though she wasn't here, sometimes I would talk out loud. I know it sounds crazy. You know what I did today? I got on camera and vented on the camera. I have not decided whether I'm going to do this or not, but I think I'm really thinking about putting what I did today on Facebook. Not on YouTube, but on Facebook Live. Or not on Facebook Live, but on Facebook. It's a video to show you guys what an actual venting session looks like. One that I was actually doing today. Where I got a little emotional, not angry, but emotional. I got teary-eyed and talking about Dwan. I'm really thinking about that so you guys can see what it looks like in raw. No cuts, no edits, no sexy graphics, nothing. Just This is what it looks like when Daryl vents. I'm really thinking about doing that. And I'm really thinking about doing that. Because I think you guys need to understand what it is. It's not just talking about your stuff. It's not just saying how bad your day was. It's actually talking about what you're going through, what you're thinking about. Do you understand? It's a fundamental transformation of your mind. I did it having bipolar, and by the way, just as an additive, I have not taken psych meds since 2006. Means it is possible to do it without meds. Do you know who gave me that idea? A counselor. The last counselor I ever saw. Back in 2006, said that, Daryl, if you work on your problems, he's the one who put that in my head. That I had thought that I would be on meds for the rest of my life. That's what they want you to believe. These psychiatrists, I don't want to deal with psychiatrists. Counselors, however, there's a secret war that goes on between them two. Counselors say, fine, be on meds, but eventually those meds are going to kill you too. Lithium would have eventually killed my kidneys. By the way, I have kidney damage. So I can't get on lithium even if I wanted to. They wouldn't do it. So what do? Oh, just wait for death. No. That's the point. You have to work on your problems. Saying I'm on meds doesn't make you healed. Doesn't impress me, and it doesn't make you know anything about your own life. That's the point. It's not just learning how to deal with your problems every day. It's learning how to make yourself better. Better. What if you have an idea in your head and you've never said it to anybody, but because maybe you've been scared to, maybe you think it's a little crazy. You'll run it by somebody. I did with Sophia. I never thought I could run a business. I don't even know if I'm running a business now. But I can promise you all this stuff I'm doing, I wasn't trained to do any of this stuff. I taught this to myself. So it's possible. But Daryl, you're smart. You don't have to do a YouTube channel to be, no offense, but you don't have to be a genius to do a YouTube channel. Do it about anything. I'm not talking about just YouTube channels or stuff. I'm talking about also just your life in general. What if you have a degree and you want to do something else? Maybe you went to college because your mom and dad paid for college, and maybe your mom and dad kind of pushed you that direction. There's nothing wrong with that. It happens a lot. But what if that's not really what you wanted to do? But maybe it's 15 years later, and now you have a kid with a husband or wife, and you secretly want to do this other thing, but you know that maybe your wife or husband might reject it, or you might lower your income a little bit. Maybe you might need the wife's help on income, or the husband's help on income. Look, guys, what I did here, what I'm doing here, what Dwan's and I's idea was not just to keep you normal. What is normal? It's to make you better. And the only way to do it is carrying these ingredients. I'm letting you know that. And I'm showing you how. I'm telling you how. I'm going into it. You have all the reason in the world to ask me any questions you want to. But Daryl, what about this? What about that? Challenge me. That is the only way the changes happen anyway. Right? So if I'm wrong on something, but I'm not. These are basic principles to being better. And you have no idea what your future is. You're not God. And even if you don't believe in God, you still don't know the future. Right? That's the thing. So that's the first salvo, as it were, for me to show you how venting is associated with taking advice. That you're able to listen to the advice. Your head is empty so that you can fill it with knowledge of whatever. of how to do camera work, of how to do graphic design, of how to run a business, of how to do finances in a business. Oh, what does it take to get an LLC? But I've examined all of these things myself. Didn't require a teacher to tell me to do them. I was curious and I wanted it. Motivation, want to, bad enough that I'll tell you a funny conversation happened. I've said this a couple times between me and Dwan. So we were coming down the steps at the other place, and I was a little frustrated, and I kind of vented to Dwan. I was like, I don't want to be this graphics design guy. I don't want to run that part. I just want to run the business aspect and speak on the subjects. I realized, I was hoping Dwan would help me with that, but anyways, I got that off my chest, and Dwan had this funny smile on his face, and I looked at him. I go, I'm going to end up doing graphics design, aren't I? He goes, yup. Because he knew I wanted it bad enough. If you want it bad enough, go get it. That's the problem with this country right now. And you can agree or don't. I don't care about who you voted for. I don't care. But I can tell you this about this man that's in office right now, President Trump. You say whatever you want to about him, but he wants what's best for this country. And he wants you to be better as a president. He's going to make it possible for you to be so. He's going to make it possible for me to be so. With the financial stuff, with helping run businesses. I already live in the state of Texas, so it's good for me anyway. But politics aside and all that stuff, I want you to be better. You should want you to be better, man. You should want you to be better. So think on that. So, I'll be on Wednesday, like I always am. We'll discuss another aspect of this connection between venting and taking advice on Wednesday. I hope that you guys are learning as much as you can, because I promise you, I wish you could see behind the scenes. I'm not in the best shape right now. I'm having a moment with my stomach, and it's been going on for days now. And so, hope you know that I get on here not for myself, but for you guys. That I do everything for you guys because I want you to be better, not because I need you to be better for me. I want you to be better for you. I want you to make yourself better. I want you to smile and look in that mirror. And if you have problems like I did, that monster that you think you see in the mirror, it'll no longer look like a monster. It'll look like you again. Because there was a time I saw a monster, not a person. And that's the point of venting. That's the point of taking advice and having good people around you. I have a good team right now. Good group of people. We had one casualty back in September, Dwan. But we're a good team. All of us together. Me and Sophia and Lori and Tanya and Denise. And Denise is going through her own pain and suffering. Tanya just went through death. But I wish that you guys, for you guys who don't know me, there's a lot of people who get on camera and they want to make it about themselves. This has never been about me. Because I know I've changed my life. Do I need you to know it for me to validate my life? No. People that love me know that I have, and that's enough for me. So, but I have a dream. I sound like Martin Luther King. I have a dream. I do. Because I think a lot of us, especially people with mental illness, go unnoticed, unlooked at, and forgotten. And I got a question for you. Do you want to be forgotten? Or do you want to rise up out of the ash? Well, stay tuned to this channel, and I can help you with that. So, I will talk to you guys on Wednesday. I love you guys. Be safe when you're traveling. Be safe when you get there. You never know what you may find when you get there. Just be aware of your surroundings, whether it be good or bad. Be understanding of each other. Not just from your perspective, but from theirs. And remember that just because, not everybody can get off the mat. Some people need a hand up. Not a hand out. You don't got to support people, but a hand up. And if you see someone walking through the fog and they're trying to get out, and you see they're trying to get out of the fog and get into the light, don't just watch them flounder about. Give them a damn torch so that they may light their own way. And if they're too afraid to grab that torch from your hand, guide them out. And if they're still too afraid, give them some time, but you do have to move on. They have to make the decision. You can't be there forever. Be understanding of yourself. That's the point. Be understanding of yourself. You can't be there forever. You got to worry about your own life. You got to worry about your own family, your own people. Remember that life is fleeting. You are not promised your next breath. So take now to go outside your box. Learn something new. You never know what you may find out about yourself. And until Wednesday, may the Lord of Light guide you in all things. Goodbye.